Hello everyone, my name is Bhavya and I am from JNtech Networks. Okay, so today we are going to discuss what is Python, how to install Python, and how to install its IDE, and the intro part of Python, like the features and the uses of Python. Okay, so what is Python? Python is a general purpose, dynamic, high level, and interpreted programming language. It supports object oriented programming approach to develop applications. It is simple and easy to learn and provides lots of high level data structures. So basically, why we say that Python is a general purpose programming language? Because Python can be used in every domain and in every field. For example, Python can be used in data mining, Python can be used in data science, Python can be used in desktop applications, in console based application, software development, artificial intelligence, web applications, enterprise applications, etc. So Python can be used in every domain, which makes Python a general purpose programming language. Now the question arises, why Python is a general purpose? Why we can use it everywhere? Because Python is an open source programming, which means first we can use it for free. Okay. And second, we can modify its source code, like we can contribute to Python's source code, which makes Python a general purpose because Python have large amount of libraries and frameworks. Okay, so we can say that because of this, Python can be used in every field. Second, we have dynamic. What is the means of dynamic here? Let's take an example. So first we have a Python code, and second we can say that C language code. Okay, so let's write num1 is equal to 12 here. So num1 here, it is a variable and 12 is a value. So num1 is a variable here. What is variable we will discuss that later. Okay. Then we have 12. 12 is a value which is assigned to variable number 1. It means variable num1. In C language, if you are familiar with C, then you can understand this example easily. So we have int is a data type. Num1 here is a variable. In second 12 is a value. Okay. So we are assigning the 12 value to num1 variable. Okay. So why Python is a dynamic? Because in the C programming, we have to declare the type of value we are assigning to a variable. Like we have to first declare we have to tell the interpreter of the C that what kind of value we are storing in num1. That is int. We have to write int or we have to specify a data type like what kind of value we are storing. So 12 number is a number, it is an integer value. Okay, so we have to specify we are storing int value and then the variable name, then equal, and then 12. But in Python, we just write up variable name and 12. We don't need to specify that what kind of value we are assigning to a variable. That is, we can say that Python is a dynamic or dynamically typed programming language. Then we have high level. What is the means of high level? Let's take an example. See, we have high level, then we have low level, then we have mid level. High level language, low level, mid level. So what is the means of high level here? High level means which is close to English language. Or we can say that human language. Then we have mid level. Before that, let's say take low level. Low level means which is close to machine language. And machine can only understand zeros and ones, means binaries. Let's take an example. High level means Python is a high level. Low level assembly. Then we have mid level, which is C, C++. So high level, mid level, and low level. High level languages which are close to English language, like for example Python. Python is a high level programming language. Let's take an example. Let's take print hello, and then we have low level. Okay. So high level means which is close to English language or human language, in which like the humans can easily understand. Like for example, we have print hello world. Even the non-technical person can understand that print is used to display something or used to print something. That is why it is no like it is easy to understand. So and it is coded in English or it is designed in English. That is why Python is a high level language. Okay, then we are low level. Let's take an example. Let's see the code of assembly. Let's search for assembly language. Okay, see, basically this is the code of assembly which includes numbers, symbols, signs as well as binaries. Okay, that is why we can say that low level means which is close to machine language and which is like machine can easily understand. Now high level means we have to first combine this Python print hello world into machine language, then it will execute the code. Okay, so we need to interpret it in high level. Next we have interpreted programming language, which means let's take an example again of Python and then C. In Python, first we have to code and then we can run the code or can run the program. In C, we have to code first, then we have to compile and then we have to run the code. Okay, so in Python, we have to code, then we can run it easily. But in C, we have to code first, then we have to compile the code and then we can run it. Like let's say the extension of C is file.c. Then we have to convert it into .exe file and then we have to run it. Okay. So in C, we have to perform the compilation process. But in Python, we can code and then we can run it directly. We don't need to we don't like need to compile the source code. Okay, that is why we can say that Python is a interpreted. Python can perform the compilation process by itself. Okay, but in C programming, we have to first code it, then compile it, and then we have to run it. So next, Python is a object-oriented programming. It follows object-oriented programming approach to develop applications. So object-oriented means OOPS concept. Okay. So OOPS means it contains objects and classes. Like in Python, OOPS concept are very important. Like it contains objects, classes, encapsulations, abstractions, etc. Decorators, generators, etc. So Python contain like OOPS are very important and the advanced topic of Python. So OOPS with the help of OOPS we can code or we can design the code easily. So we will see it later. Then it is simple and easy to learn and provides lots of high level data structures. Simple and easy to learn because it is close to human language and provides lots of high level data structures. Python is easy to learn yet powerful, versatile scripting language. Versatile means it can be used in different cases. Like scripting means we can write the script for malwares, for payloads, for tools, and we can write the scripts for the backend. Okay, so that is why we can say that versatile scripting language, which makes it attractive for application development and many other developments. Then Python syntax and dynamic typing with interpreted nature makes it an ideal language for scripting and rapid application development. So basically Python syntax and dynamic typing with its interpreted nature, like dynamic typing means we are taking this as an example, like we have to in C programming we have to define the type of variable, like type of value we are assigning to a variable. Okay. So and in Python we don't need to like define it. So that is why it is like dynamically typing with its interpreted nature. Now Python supports multiple programming patterns, including object-oriented, imperative, and functional or procedural programming styles. So here, multiple programming pattern means object-oriented. First, we can write a Python program or Python code with the help of OOPs, like with the help of objects and classes, like by creating objects and classes. Then procedural means we can write or we can divide the whole program of Python into different small functions. Okay, and then we can call the function and we can use it. So we can use different programming pattern to write a specific program. Then we have Python is not intended to work in a particular area such as web programming. That is why it is known as multi-purpose programming language, which because it can be used in website development, enterprise, CD, CAT, etc. We don't need to use data types to declare variable because it is dynamically typed. So we can write a is equal to 10 to assign an integer value. It is in an integer variable like we had seen in this example. Python makes the development and debugging fast because there is no compilation step included in Python development. So there is no any compilation process like in C. So it is like easy to debug. Then Python 2 versus Python 3. Now the difference between Python 2 and Python 3. So let's take an example. Python 2, the syntax of Python 2 and Python 3. So in Python 2 we can write print hello, and in Python 3 we write print hello world. Okay, so this is the difference in the syntax. We have to use parentheses means these brackets here, round brackets, and in Python 2 source code or syntax we are just using it without parentheses. Okay, second is in Python 2 we have to use we use raw input, raw underscore input. Okay, but in Python 3 we use only input function. Okay, now in Python 2 we use raw input, and in Python we use input. Second, in Python 2 we use x range, and in Python 3 we use only range. Okay, so this is just a simple and syntax difference between Python 2 and Python 3. Then we have Python history. So Python was invented by Guido van Rossum in 1991 in CWI in Netherlands. The idea of Python programming language has taken from the AVC programming language. So we can say that AVC is a precedent of Python language. Okay, so it is developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991, and it is derived from AVC programming language. There is also a fact behind the using name Python. Guido van Rossum was a fan of popular BBC comedy show of that time, Monty's Python Flying Circus. So he decided to pick the name Python from his newly created programming language. Okay, so the Python name was chosen from the BBC comedy show Monty's Python Flying Circus. Now, why learn Python? Why we are so desperate about Python? Why Python is in trend? Okay, so basically Python provides many useful features to the programmer. These features makes it most popular and widely used language. We have listed below few essential features of Python. First, easy to use and learn, expressive language, interpreted language, object oriented, okay, open source, learn extensible, and then learn standard library, GUI programming. Okay. Then integrated, embedded, dynamic memory allocation, wide range of libraries and frameworks. So it is easy to use and learn, expressive, okay, and then interpreted programming. Then we can we don't need to perform any compilation process in Python. Object oriented, where you use classes and objects. Then open source, where we can modify its source code, we can contribute to its libraries and frameworks. Extensible means it can be used everywhere. Okay, then learn standard library. Python has wide range of libraries for different purposes. GUI programming support, like for Kinder and Turtle, they are used for GUI programs. Then integrated and embedded. Embedded, we can embed Python with other languages like C and Python makes Python. Java and Python makes Jython. And dynamic memory allocation and wide range of libraries and frameworks. So where is Python used? Python can be used in data science, in data mining, desktop applications, console-based applications, software development, artificial intelligence, web applications, etc. Now, Python popular frameworks and libraries. So Python has a wide range of libraries and frameworks, widely used in various fields such as machine learning, artificial intelligence, web applications, etc. We define some popular frameworks and libraries of Python as follows. Web development, which is known as server side. Python can be used in Django, Flex, Premit, and CherryPy. GUI based application, TK, which means Kinder, PyGTK, PyQt, PyJS, etc. So these are the libraries of Python which can be used in different domains. Machine learning, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Scikit-learn, Matplotlib, ScrapPy, etc. And in mathematics, we can use NumPy, Pandas, etc. Okay, due to its wide range of libraries, we can use Python everywhere. Then installation of Python. How to install Python? So first go to python.org. Okay, so we have to search for Python. Download. Okay, then go to first link python.org. Here, click on download Python 3.10, the current and latest version of Python. Okay. The installation process is very straightforward. Just make sure to add Python to path. Okay, there's an option when during the installation process, just add Python to path. You have to take option add to path. Okay, this is very important. Then, to ensure that Python is completely installed in your system, then you have to open CMD, and then you have to search. You can run Python -v version. Okay, so it will show the Python version and some other information. So here it will show the Python 3 symbols greater than. Then you can write the code here, print, and then the hello world. Okay, this will only come when you add Python to path. Okay, so just tick the option during the installation process. Now, verify Python is installed on Windows. You can write Python and press enter. The version of Python which you have installed will be displayed if the Python is successfully installed on a Windows or in any system. So you can type also Python. Okay, so Python version. Now, verify pip was installed. Pip is a package manager for Python, which is used to install external libraries for Python. Okay, like Pandas, NumPy, Django. Let's say if pip was installed, so you have to search cmd and type pip-v. Okay, so it will show the version. Now, let's come to IDE. IDE means integrated development learning environment, where you can write your code freely and in a comfortable environment. Now, we can use many IDEs, like we can use VS Code, Visual Studio Code, PyCharm, Sublime Test, Atom, Jupyter, and Spider. So for this, we will use Visual Studio Code. PyCharm and Atom is also good. So for installing VS Code, you have to search for Visual Studio Code. Okay, and go to the official website. Here you can click on Windows. Okay, Windows, and then you can download it. The installation process is like straightforward for the VS Code too, so you can install it. Now, when you open the VS Code, so this is the interface of the VS Code. So cross this and get started. Here you can go to edit, file, preferences and color theme. You can change your color theme in here. Let's say dark. Okay. Now you can open the file, you can create new file, you can create new windows. Now after installing the VS Code, open it and click in here, extensions. Okay. Now you have to install few extensions like search for Python first. Python. Okay. Python and click on install in here. Second, you have to search run. So you can dot run. Okay, install this. Then you have to search for prettier. Prettier. Okay, this one. So it will help you to format your code. So install it and then you can search for VS icons. Okay, so VS code icons. So install it. Okay, these are the four main extensions that you have to install after installing VS code. And then now let's create a folder on desktop. Okay, right click. Okay, if you want to open any folder, you can click on open folder. So first let's create a folder. Okay, open folder. You can open like any folder. Let's say desktop and notes. Okay, or let's say others. Select folder. Okay, here there's two options: new file, new folder, refresh. Okay, so you can create plus new file. Name your file, like file dot py. The extension of Python is dot py. Enter. Okay, cross it, write it. So you can write your code here. Let's say print hello world. Control S for save, and then you can click on this button, run here. So hello world. Okay. So after installing the extension dot run, like this extension run, this one, then only you will be able to see this button here. Okay, so don't forget to install the extensions. Four important extensions. Okay, now why IDE? Why we are using the IDE? So for Python, we have search for Python. We have simple ideal for Python also. Okay, this is the ideal for Python. Let's type print hello. Enter. So Python ideal is also used for writing the Python code, but we are still using another IDE for Python because Python IDE is very helpful. Like whenever you suppose you forget to write, like use this brackets. Okay, so Python IDE will show us an error like underline. So it will whenever you are like coding in the IDE, it will first give you the suggestions. Let's say you're writing print, so it will give you the suggestion and you can click on enter. Okay, like what you are going to write. Hello, as well as it will give you the indicator that you are doing some error, like this red line. Okay, that is why we are using the Python IDE, which is makes the environment more colorful and more useful. Okay, then we are hello world. Otherwise, you can also use this Python IDE which is like somewhat boring. So you can use it according to yourself.